My cousin secretly recorded our family game night and posted it online. In the video, my mom mocked my embarrassing career while everyone laughed. I've been supporting her financially for years, so I cut her off. I, 32M, never thought a simple family game night would destroy my relationship with my mother and expose years of hidden resentment. What started as innocent fun turned into public humiliation that changed everything. For the past 4 years, I've been quietly sending my mom $800 every month. She's been struggling since Dad passed away, and her part-time job at the local grocery store barely covers her expenses. I never made a big deal about it. Just set up an automatic transfer and told her it was to help with utilities and groceries. She always seemed grateful, though she never brought it up much in family conversations. I work as a freelance graphic designer and social media manager for small businesses. It's not glamorous, but I've built a solid client base and make decent money. The work is flexible, creative, and I genuinely enjoy it. Sure, it's not a traditional corporate job, but I'm financially stable and happy with my career choice. Last Saturday, my cousin Jake hosted one of our monthly family game nights at his place. These gatherings have been a tradition for years, usually just immediate family playing board games, sharing stories, and catching up. Jake recently moved into a new apartment and was excited to host for the first time. The evening started normally. My mom, aunt, uncle, Jake, and my younger sister were all there. We played a few rounds of charades and moved on to a trivia game. Everything felt relaxed and fun until we got to a category about careers and professions. When it was my turn, someone read a question about entrepreneurship. I answered correctly, and Jake jokingly said something about how I should know since I run my own business. That's when my mom's expression shifted. She started talking about how worried she was about my future, saying I needed to find a real job with benefits and security. I tried to brush it off, mentioning that I was doing well financially and enjoyed the work. But she kept pushing, her voice getting louder and more animated. My mom began telling everyone how embarrassed she was when her friends asked what I did for a living. She said she didn't know how to explain that her son played around on computers all day instead of having a proper career. The room got uncomfortable, but she continued, saying she hoped I'd eventually grow up and get serious about my life. My aunt chimed in, agreeing that creative work wasn't sustainable long-term. My uncle nodded along, adding that I should consider going back to school for something more practical. Even my sister, who usually stays out of these conversations, made a comment about how she was glad she chose a traditional career path. I felt my face burning with embarrassment and anger. Here I was, financially supporting my mother while she publicly mocked my career choices. The irony was devastating, but I couldn't say anything without revealing the monthly payments and making the situation even more awkward. The conversation eventually moved on, but the damage was done. I spent the rest of the evening feeling humiliated and questioning whether my family had always viewed me this way. When I got home that night, I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. 3 days later, my sister called me in a panic. She told me to check Jake's social media immediately. My stomach dropped as I opened his Instagram account and saw the video. Jake had secretly recorded large portions of our game night, including the entire segment where my mom criticized my career. He posted it with a caption about funny family moments and tagged everyone who was there. The video had already been shared dozens of times and had hundreds of comments. I watched in horror as strangers on the internet laughed at my mom's comments about my embarrassing career. People were making jokes about millennials and their fake jobs, while others were criticizing my mom for being unsupportive. The whole thing had gone viral in our extended social circle. My phone started buzzing with notifications. Friends and acquaintances were commenting, sharing, and messaging me about the video. Some were supportive, others were making jokes, and a few were genuinely concerned about the family drama playing out online. I called Jake immediately, demanding he take the video down. He seemed genuinely surprised by my reaction, saying he thought it was just harmless family fun and that everyone looked good in it. He claimed he didn't realize how hurtful my mom's comments were and promised to delete it, but the damage was already done. Screenshots and screen recordings were circulating, and the video had been shared to other platforms. That evening, I made a decision that had been building for months. I logged into my banking app and canceled the automatic transfer to my mom's account. Then I called her to explain what I was doing and why. I told her about the video and how humiliated I felt watching her mock my career in front of our family and now the entire internet. I explained that I had been supporting her financially for years while she publicly criticized the very work that made those payments possible. My mom was shocked when I revealed the monthly transfers. She claimed she thought the money came from savings or that I was just being generous with occasional help. I reminded her that $800 every month for 4 years wasn't occasional help. It was substantial financial support that totaled nearly $40,000. She tried to apologize, saying she didn't mean to hurt my feelings and that she was just worried about my future. But I was too angry and hurt to accept her explanations. I told her that if my career was so embarrassing and unstable, she shouldn't have any problem managing without the income it provided. The conversation ended badly, with both of us saying things we probably shouldn't have. She accused me of being vindictive and using money to control the family. I accused her of being ungrateful and two-faced. We hung up without resolving anything. Update 1. The fallout was immediate and intense. Within 24 hours of cutting off the payments, my mom called me 6 times. She left voicemails alternating between apologies and accusations. In one message, she tearfully explained how much the money meant to her and begged me to reconsider. In another, she angrily called me manipulative and said I was punishing her for expressing legitimate concerns. My sister got involved, calling to tell me I was being cruel and that mom was just trying to look out for me. She said the whole family was talking about the situation and that I was making things worse by being petty. I asked her if she'd seen the video and how she'd feel if someone publicly mocked her career while she was secretly supporting them financially. Jake finally took the video down after getting pressure from multiple family members, but it was too late. The story had taken on a life of its own in our social circle. I received messages from friends, former classmates, and even some of my clients who had somehow seen it. Most were supportive, but the whole situation felt surreal and exhausting. My aunt called to mediate, suggesting we all sit down and talk things through. She acknowledged that my mom's comments were hurtful, but said cutting off financial support was an extreme reaction. I explained that it wasn't just about the video. It was about years of feeling unappreciated while providing substantial help. 2 weeks passed without any contact between my mom and me. Then she showed up at my apartment unannounced on a Tuesday evening. She looked tired and stressed, and I could tell she'd been crying recently. She apologized sincerely for the first time, admitting that she had been wrong to criticize my career, especially publicly. She said she hadn't realized how successful I actually was or how much the monthly payments meant to her financial stability. She explained that she'd been scared about my future because creative careers seemed uncertain to her generation, but she recognized that her fears didn't justify her behavior. I listened to everything she had to say, but I wasn't ready to forgive immediately. I told her that the money wasn't the real issue. It was the lack of respect and appreciation. I explained how it felt to support someone who publicly diminished my accomplishments and made me feel ashamed of work I was proud of. Update 2. My mom asked if there was anything she could do to make things right. I told her that rebuilding trust would take time and that I needed to see genuine change in how she talked about my career, both publicly and privately. She agreed and asked if I would consider resuming the financial support, even at a reduced amount. I thought about it for several days before responding. I decided to restart the payments, but at $400 per month instead of $800. I explained that the reduction wasn't punishment, it was a boundary. I wanted to help her, but I also needed to protect myself from feeling taken advantage of. She accepted the terms gratefully and promised to be more mindful of her words. She also said she would talk to the rest of the family about respecting my career choices and not making jokes about creative work. The next family gathering was awkward but civil. My mom made a point of asking about my current projects and speaking positively about my work. It felt forced at first, but I appreciated the effort. Jake apologized again for posting the video and promised to ask permission before sharing anything involving family members in the future. My relationship with my mom is slowly improving, but it's different now. There's a new awareness of boundaries and expectations that didn't exist before. She's more careful about her words, and I'm more direct about my needs and feelings. The whole experience taught me that financial generosity doesn't automatically earn respect or appreciation. It also showed me the importance of setting clear boundaries with family members, even when you love them and want to help them. Update 3. 6 months have passed since the game night incident. My mom and I have rebuilt our relationship, though it's evolved into something more honest and direct than before. She regularly asks about my work now and has even referred a few potential clients to me. She seems genuinely proud of my success, and I believe her change of heart is authentic. The reduced financial support has actually worked out better for both of us. She's become more budget conscious and has picked up additional hours at work. I feel less resentful about the payments because they're at a level that doesn't strain my finances or make me feel taken advantage of. Jake learned a valuable lesson about consent and privacy. He now asks permission before posting anything involving other people and has become more thoughtful about how his social media activity affects others. The incident actually brought us closer together because we had honest conversations about boundaries and respect. My sister and I worked through our disagreement about the situation. She eventually admitted that she would have reacted similarly if she'd been in my position. She apologized for initially taking Mom's side without fully understanding the context. The whole experience changed how our family communicates about money, careers, and respect. We're more direct about our expectations and more careful about our words. It was a painful way to learn these lessons, but I'm grateful for the growth that came from it. Looking back, I don't regret cutting off the payments temporarily. It was the wake-up call my mom needed to recognize how her words affected me. Sometimes you have to be willing to enforce boundaries, even with family members you love and want to support. My career continues to thrive, and I'm more confident than ever in my choices. The public humiliation was awful at the time, but it ultimately led to stronger family relationships and better communication. I learned that respect and appreciation can't be bought, but they can be earned through honest conversations and clear boundaries.